The Cleveland Cavaliers are the best team in the entire NBA right now, and it's not even close.
As Mitchell for three. Hey! Knocks it down. A dazzling start.
It sounds odd that the Cavs are dominating so much for the first time in the post-LeBron James era, and it's not even because of one single player. The past few seasons, the Cleveland Cavaliers have been a very good team that made a few noises and threatened some of the Eastern powerhouses during the playoffs. However, they were always just a good team and never a great one. No one thought the Cavs were good enough to compete for a championship, as they often underachieved during the regular season and were never good enough to hang with the true contenders in the playoffs.
Mitchell works on Kispert on this end, draws the foul, puts it up and in! Donovan Mitchell!
It's not that the team doesn't have talent. They have Donovan Mitchell, one of the best scoring guards in the league. Darius Garland has also carved a name for himself as a steady scoring point guard with the ability to make plays at a high level. Then you have the front court combo of Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, two players who stand close to 7 feet tall and have the length and mobility to keep up with perimeter players. So, if you look at this team, it was always talented. Mitchell, Garland, and Allen are legitimate all-stars. Meanwhile, Mobley is a rising star who will have a few all-star appearances down the line. The talent was already there, but the problem was probably the coaching. JB Bickerstaff was there during the post-LeBron rebuild days as he helped this team grow from being a lottery squad to become a playoff contender. He's a bright mind and a guy who grew and learned along the way, but he probably did not implement the right system for this Cavs team. The last few seasons under Bickerstaff saw the Cavs playing a slower brand of basketball, catering to the two big guys on the front court. He wanted to take advantage of the length and size of his front court, forcing opposing teams to play slower and make them score over the size and length of Mobley and Allen. On offense, there was a weird tandem between Garland and Mitchell, as it sometimes looked like they didn't know how to play well together. Mitchell's game relies on his ability to break defenses down one-on-one. He needs the ball in his hands to be effective. Meanwhile, Garland is your quintessential modern-day point guard because he can create shots off the dribble and set the table for his teammates during pick-and-roll situations.
Cavaliers come out of the blocks, and they come the other way with Garland. Good pass.
At times, Mitchell made Garland look useless because he would rather play iso ball. On the other hand, Garland seemingly can't find a way to let Mitchell's game flourish while he was setting the offense up. There was even a time when people wanted to break this backcourt duo up because it looked like their games couldn't coexist. In fact, last season, Bickerstaff's offense almost exclusively relied on Mitchell's ability to create off the dribble. However, the current version of the Cleveland Cavaliers looks incredibly fluid. They don't resemble the same team that often underperformed during the postseason, and it all boiled down to one big change: the coaching staff. Kenny Atkinson got hired to replace Bickerstaff during the offseason after the Cavs fired their former head coach. Now, Atkinson doesn't have the best track record. He was once the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets before the KD, Kyrie, and Harden super team era. However, he only had one winning season during his entire run with the Nets, probably because he lacked talented players. After moving on from his time with the Nets, he became an assistant coach under Steve Kerr in the Golden State Warriors coaching staff. He won a title in 2022 as an assistant, and it was his time with the Warriors that helped him evolve into a better coach, learning what makes the Dubs tick and understanding the importance of moving the ball around. During his time in the Bay Area, Atkinson had the pleasure of coaching Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. Of course, Klay's style is far from Mitchell's brand of basketball.
That away from James. LeVert to Mitchell. Does he have another? Yes!
But Garland is like a light version of Curry in the sense that he's just a good shooter and a gifted passer. On top of that, he took pages out of the Warriors' unselfish offense and implemented them on the Cavaliers. That is why the Cavs look different this season. Their offense is faster than ever, taking advantage of a faster pace and the talent and speed of the backcourt duo. Last season, the Cavs were 22 in pace. This season, they're playing at a faster pace, finding themselves in the top 15 in terms of speed. More importantly, the ball doesn't stick in the hands of either Mitchell or Garland for long periods of time. The Cavs were always good at passing the ball, but they took things to a new level this season. Last year, they were 8th in assists. This season, everyone has been passing the ball as the Cavs have been moving the rock at a higher rate. Because of the increased pace and adept passing, this team has increased its offensive production. The Cavs turned from being one of the slowest teams into one of the fastest and highest scoring squads. And if you look at the stats, it's not because Mitchell and Garland have been scoring more. Last season, the backcourt duo combined for 44.6 points, primarily because Mitchell was scoring a ton of points.
Will take it in. Big finish.
That number saw a slight dip this season because they're now moving the ball more than ever, allowing everyone on the team to contribute. Mobley's offense has taken a big step, even though he's still far from becoming a consistent scoring big man. But the role players, including Karis LeVert and Ty Jerome, have been very productive. Atkinson's emphasis on ball and man movement has allowed the other guys to step up and contribute at consistent levels, allowing the Cavs to have more offensive weapons outside of their stellar backcourt players. The emphasis on moving the ball around and finding open shots and efficient baskets has allowed the Cavs to rise as one of the most efficient offenses in the league, consistently ranking in the top 5 in terms of field goal percentage. Last year, they finished 12th in that department. However, the increase in offensive production did not come at the cost of defensive intensity. The reason why the Cavs were playoff contenders the past few seasons was the fact that they were almost always near the top in terms of defense. Atkinson understands the defensive strengths of this team, and that's why he still focuses heavily on utilizing his strong front court duo.
Gets it back, Holland races to the basket, and Mobley erased.
The Cavs haven't changed a lot of things on the defensive end, even after increasing the tempo and scoring. They still rely on the length and size of the big men. Allen is a true double-double machine because of his timely scoring and strong rebounding. But Mobley is the true key to this offense. He's not as physical as some of the other strong defensive big men in the league, but he uses his mobility and length to play help defense at an extremely high level. He's kind of a fallback option for the Cavs defense because he's always ready to recover to the weak side to contest or block shots. That's why he has a good chance of winning the Defensive Player of the Year award. So if you look at it, the Cavs have a good combination of offense and defense. They know how to utilize their unselfish and high-scoring backcourt to increase the tempo and find open shots.
Darius, a hesitation move, finds Mobley!
Meanwhile, they use their size, length, and mobility in the paint to stifle opposing defenses. If that sounds familiar, then you're probably thinking of the Golden State Warriors during their championship years. That team played fast and loose on offense, but didn't sacrifice its defensive intensity. The difference, however, is that the Cavs have more length and size in the paint, as opposed to the Warriors, who are focused more on speed and mobility to help each other out defensively. So, because we're looking at a copycat league, it's clear that Atkinson learned a lot of things during his time in the Bay Area and has been more than ready to add his own flair into this new system with the Cavs. This team isn't exactly Golden State 2.0, but is certainly just as effective on both ends of the floor. And the last time we saw the Warriors dominating on both ends of the floor, they won the title. Well, it's too early to say that the Cavs are going to be winning the title at the end of the season because a lot of things can still happen and change in the next 6 to 7 months. They may slow down as the season progresses or when teams start taking them more seriously. But as it stands, the Cavs are seriously good this season, and that's why you may want to start talking more about them and their chances of challenging the Boston Celtics in the East.